All right. So the second thought here in terms of engaging your board is you need to present the benefits of sponsorship. So you can start this back at the advocacy stage that we had talked about, right? So, what are the reasons why sponsorship is a good thing? Now, obviously, to everybody, getting sponsorship dollars is positive, right? That's the number one reason. But there's other benefits of sponsorship that you can talk to the board about. So one that I think that it's really, really interesting to boards is if you've got a really good higher profiled sponsor, and when I say high profile, they don't have to be a Fortune 100 company, but if they have a really good positive profile within your community or within your industry, that provides what we call social proof, or I should say Robert Cialdini, who wrote the book, the Power of Persuasion, right? He has his persuasion principles, and social proof is a big one. The whole idea is we look to others to dictate how our behavior should be, right? He likes to give the example, if you're in a really crowded area and all of a sudden you see a line forming, most likely you're going to stand in line because that's what everybody else is doing, right? So social proof with corporations is, well, gee, if United Way is being supported by IBM, just making that up, I don't know if they are. If United Way is being supported by IBM, then most likely other organizations that are intrigued by IBM or impressed by IBM, or just because of the grand scope of how big they are, they're going to think, oh, wow, well, maybe we should be considering that. I have another really good example of social proof. I used to work in public media and worked a lot around PBS Kids programming. And if you're not familiar with it, it's PBS Kids programming on public television is geared towards kids that are kindergarten age through third grade. And we would have, obviously, educators, schools that would do promotion, provide underwriting credits around this programming. And honestly, like clockwork, anytime we had a new school come on, other schools started to call because they saw that school come on. It's another example of social proof. Anyways, I digress. That works very similar with your board. If you think about your board makeup, your board is made up probably of business executives, attorneys, high-profile people in your community, or community activists, what have you. They know something about what you do or have an interest, right? So if a name that has a lot of popularity around it or familiarity around it is associated with your organization, again, that provides good social proof for you to get other sponsors. It also could provide more members as well as more donors. So on the association side, let's say that you are an association of teachers, of science teachers, and you're able to get Microsoft as a sponsor of a webinar series you're doing. There's a good chance that you'll have teachers that maybe want to become members so they can take advantage of your webinar series, right? Same thing holds true with nonprofits and donors. So if you are a nonprofit geared towards small companion animal rescue, and you see that Kroger, which is a large grocery store chain in the United States, if Kroger is supporting the organization, people that shop Kroger in your area may have an interest in donating to you just because of Kroger's partnership and their own sponsorship of your programs and of your organization. So, those are a couple benefits of sponsorship that you'll definitely want to present. Another popular one too is collaboration and thought leadership. Let's say that you have a project around research that you would like to facilitate. And you could use outside help to do that. A sponsor might be able to either help fund your project to get a research project done. A sponsor might be able to help collaborate with you to collect data, to help you facilitate, right? That's very possible. So there's other ways to utilize sponsorship resources. And another way to collaborate is through thought leadership. So again, going back to the webinar series, maybe you're an association that's geared towards manufacturing professionals and wanting to get more women not only involved in manufacturing, but getting them more involved in leadership professions. Maybe you have a sponsor. I'm just, again, making this up. I do not know if they're interested in manufacturing, but I'm just making this up. Let's say it's Sherwin-Williams. Let's say Sherwin-Williams has a executive that they would be interested in having join your webinar series to talk about their experience in, working with females in chemical manufacturing, right? So again, so you don't have to rely just on your own staff or your own inner circle of thought leaders. You can utilize your sponsors as potential thought leaders as well. So those are three really specific benefits of sponsorship that I can think of just, off the top of my head that I see a lot. And then on top of it, as I said earlier, sponsorship is a great way in order to bring in non-dues revenue if you're an association, to bring in overall revenue if you're a nonprofit, to get specific projects funded if you've had trouble doing that. Yeah. So the other thing I want people to take away from benefits of sponsorship is that most organizations have an interest in wanting to get involved in the community or in their industry. And they know a good way of involvement is through sponsorship. And it really is to be a good corporate citizen. Now, granted, do they get benefits out of being a good corporate citizen? Of course they do. Of course they do. But it's important to help boards understand that, companies are made up of people, and those people have an interest in wanting to do good. So again, just a few pieces there regarding the benefits of sponsorship. Okay.